I caught my son stealing from my purse, but what he bought broke my heart. Andrew had always been a good kid, so when I found my wallet on the floor next to his backpack with $20 missing, I was confused more than angry. This was the third time in 2 weeks. First it was $15, then another $10. I kept thinking maybe I miscounted or spent it somewhere and forgot, but this time I was sure. I had exactly $60 in my wallet that morning, and now there were only 40. I decided to watch him more carefully. The next morning, I pretended to be asleep when he got ready for school. Through my cracked bedroom door, I watched him tiptoe into the kitchen where I always left my purse. He looked around nervously, then carefully opened my wallet and took out another 20. My heart sank. What was my 12-year-old son doing with all this money? Was he buying drugs? Getting into some kind of trouble with older kids? I had raised him alone since his dad left when he was 4, and I thought I knew everything about him. I followed him to school that day, parking across the street and watching. He went straight to class like normal. Nothing weird there. But after school, instead of walking straight home like he always did, he made a detour to the grocery store. I waited in my car, watching through the big windows. He walked straight to the deli counter and ordered something. The lady behind the counter smiled and handed him a small container. Then he walked to the checkout and paid with my $20 bill. When he came outside, I could see what he bought: a small container of soup and a plastic spoon. That was it. $20 for soup and a spoon. None of this made sense. I followed him again, staying far enough back so he wouldn't see me. But instead of going home, he walked 3 blocks in the opposite direction to the old part of town where all the abandoned buildings were. This was getting scary. He stopped in front of this run-down house with boarded-up windows. I parked and watched from behind another car. Andrew walked around to the backyard and sat down next to what looked like a pile of old blankets. That's when the blankets moved, and I saw an old man sit up. He looked homeless, dirty, probably hadn't had a shower in weeks. Andrew handed him the soup and the spoon, then sat next to him while the man ate. I got out of my car and crept closer so I could hear what they were saying. The old man was thanking Andrew over and over. "You're such a good kid," he kept saying. "This is the best part of my day." Andrew told him about his math test and asked how the man's cough was doing. They talked like old friends, like they had been doing this for a while. After about 20 minutes, Andrew hugged the man goodbye and started walking home. I hurried back to my car and got there before him. That night at dinner, I couldn't stop staring at Andrew. Here I was thinking my son was getting into trouble, maybe buying drugs or something terrible. But really, he was spending his lunch money and my money to feed a homeless man. "Andrew," I said finally, "we need to talk." His face went white. He knew he was caught. "I know about the money," I said. His shoulders slumped and he started crying. "I'm sorry, Mom. I know it was wrong to take it without asking, but Frank hasn't eaten in days sometimes, and I just couldn't." He was sobbing now. "Who's Frank?" I asked, even though I already knew. "This old guy who lives behind the Miller house. He's really nice, but he doesn't have any family and he's sick. I started talking to him a few weeks ago when I saw him digging through trash cans looking for food. I felt tears in my own eyes." "Andrew, why didn't you tell me?" "I don't know. I thought you might say no or get mad at me for talking to strangers. And Frank isn't strange. He's just sad and hungry." The next day, I packed 2 lunches instead of 1. Andrew looked confused when I handed him the extra bag. "This one's for Frank," I said. Andrew's face lit up like Christmas morning. "Really? Really? But next time you want to help someone, you ask me first. We'll figure it out together." That afternoon, Andrew introduced me to Frank. Turns out he was a veteran who fell on hard times after his wife died. We started bringing him dinner twice a week, and I helped him apply for services he needed. 6 months later, Frank got into a program that found him a small apartment and helped him get back on his feet. At his housewarming party, he told everyone that a 12-year-old boy with the biggest heart in the world saved his life. I never had to worry about money missing from my purse again. Andrew always asked now when he wanted to help someone, and there were a lot of someones.